Madiyam Shariram Madiyaha Pranaha Madiyam Manascha Madiya Buddhihi Madiyam Jnanamiti Svenaiva Jnayate Tadhyatha Madhiyatvena Grignatam Kataka Kundala Grihadikam Swasmad Bhinnam Tatha Pancha Kosaatitaham Swasmad Bhinnam Madhiyatvena Jnatam Atma na bhavati. So we saw last time or up to now what are the Pancha Koshas. So every one of them gets the status of kosha called a cover. If they themselves don't cover, they are only available, they become a counter for committing a mistake. That's all. They are present, their presence is no problem. But what is the problem is our mistaking them to be oneself. When you mistake them to be oneself is to take their condition to be your condition, their limitations to be your limitations. Whatever belongs to them, attributing to oneself is what is called in our Shastra a technical term here called kosha. Kosha means what? It covers your reality and makes you appear totally different. So it becomes a counter to commit a mistake. So here that is why in jnanam, in all other cases in karma and all, there is a total process of change to take place. This is where we must understand between knowledge and karma. Any action is performed only to bring about a change totally, transformation, a change. That is where we have to use karma. Because by simple knowledge things doesn't change. You may know many things, that's why compounding. You know how to compound. Unless you bring the things together, the compounding doesn't take place. So by doing the karma only, knowledge and adopted, applied, the karma brings about the change. This is how the changes take place generally, and major portion of our life is in the process of knowledge and knowledge applied actions. This is how we bring about varieties of change. That's what you all do even with the body. You have got the medical science knowledge, and because of that only you can bring about changes in the condition of the body. If it has got some particular adverse condition, you do that and try to change it, bring about a change. So various types of changes all over, not only in the body, in the world, anywhere you find, there is action, but action backed by certain knowledge. Then you find varieties of, that is called in the world, we call production, we call product of growth, everything you find where two processes are there, knowledge applied actions. This is the general change that we find, and we are major portion, we are all at this level. But that is why here when it comes, people have got a lot of problem. Since we are used to only by changing, doing something. When somebody says merely by understanding there is a change, they cannot accept. Why? Because major portion of our life, knowledge alone doesn't create any change. But then why we talk about this? Because we have to understand knowledge is what? Always you will find knowledge is exactly in keeping with the reality of a given thing. Is it or not? If you say simple, you take copper sulfate. If you have got knowledge of copper sulfate, what does it tell you? All that makes what is copper sulfate. That knowledge reveals the reality of what is copper sulfate. And once you know, the copper sulfate is totally known as what? Exactly as copper sulfate is. That means knowledge is always about something in its reality what it is. Because knowledge is not meant to change anything. Knowledge is to reveal something in its reality what it is, like light. What is the light supposed to do? The light is supposed to do only to particularly illumine things and reveal to you exactly what it is. That's why when you put on the light illumines everything, doesn't change, bring about a change in anything. This is what knowledge also do. When you read a book, and if you have got already certain knowledge of the language tells you what is written, exactly what it is. It doesn't change. If you change it, that is not correct reading. You are supposed to read and understand exactly what it is. This is what is always knowledge. That is why in our Shastra we will say, knowledge whenever it is there, it should be exactly to the reality of a given object. That's what your eyes do. Whenever you look at a thing, eyes only report exactly what a thing is, a person is. The shape, the height, the color, the appearance, everything it tells you. But then with reference to your buddhi and mind only, you start interpreting the person this way, that way. But then that is not real understanding of the person. To know the person exactly means, first of all, the appearance you know, then lot of other information you collect, then understand the person is this. Here knowledge only tells you what is the object which you see. Same is the case with sound. That means wherever knowledge comes, the knowledge is not meant to bring about a change. You must always know. Generally, knowledge is meant for that only. That's a major portion of the knowledge is to tell you exactly what it is. As you know here, you can apply a lot of things. Heart. When you have learned about heart, the knowledge told you what is a heart. In various ways, its shape, what it is, how it is, then what is its function. So many things is told you. This is knowledge. So exactly what the knowledge has told you, exactly know what a heart is in various aspects of the heart. This is what we do. So knowledge is always exactly to the reality of a given object. That's why once you understand the object, that's why if you have studied about heart a long time back, even today that knowledge holds good. Why? Because the heart's particular condition doesn't undergo, what it is in reality doesn't undergo any change. That's what his knowledge is. Because the object being in its reality, the knowledge is that you need not do anything, just understand the heart. Later on, another knowledge is what are the particular problems possible for the heart. That can keep on verifying, changing, but still what is heart? Once you have studied, it holds good. That's why you need not again and again update it. The defects of the heart may keep on changing new times. New things are coming. That you may have to update. But what a heart is, how it is, its shape is, what it is, how many particular ventricles or arteries, what it is there, it is all the same. Not that particularly in this 20th century, suddenly new hearts are coming. It is not. The heart is the same. You might have studied, or the science might have told you ages back what is the heart is. Even today, it is the same. So always knowledge is always what, this is where we must clearly understand. Then only this Vedanta will really mean something to you. Otherwise it is not. Because it deals with reality. A reality is revealed, unfolded by the knowledge. And that is all. There ends the matter. And if you understand, you understood for good. It is not again and again you have to update it. Once understood, it is understood. Like any knowledge about a given thing, it remains the same. In the world itself, you find. Though in the world many things keeps on changing, but in the heart, being a product, it has got its own wear and tear. But the nature of the heart as it is, what it is, doesn't undergo any change. The heart is the heart. Like that, various things, liver or anything, you understood means understood for good. Similar is the case here also, we must know. So by this particular Pancha Koshas, when we talked, what it has given you a knowledge. What is Pancha Koshas? Each aspect, each level. That means by this knowledge, what I told you, these conditions that are there, they belong to whom? To the body, which is viewed in a five-folded way from the aspect of their own functions. They remaining as they are, they become a kosha, a covering, when they are mistaken for oneself. I hope you are getting it. But then, though we assume or we think like that, the kalpana is there, that is me, that belongs to me, because you think it doesn't belong to you. That's the beauty. You may have thought all these days, all these problems belongs to me, though these problems really belongs to what? To the Pancha Koshas, or in short they are called the body. But as long as we don't have the distinction between the body and the self, the conditions of the body are attributed to the self, the Atma, you. So what is this knowledge? This way it is called a discrimination. It is only a vivechanam, a vivekam. Just understand, because here what you have to do? Just understand, so these conditions belong to that. You are not to do anything further. Your job is to attend to it, defect and other things. In Vedanta, what it is? These particular conditions belong to the body, various levels. So there is respiration in one area, digestion in another area. Variety things are going on. The mind has got psychological level. The intellect has got its own level. They are all doing their things. So their job is that. But then here, what is our knowledge? Okay, while they are all doing, who am I? What is my status? So as we have seen before, that's why I am distinct from all of them. As long as we don't understand, since we identify with that, tadatmya is there, we become one with it, then they are called again the status of a kosha. Now there it was told Pancha Kosha Atitaha. We talked about Pancha Kosha. The next is, what do you mean by Atita? So Atita means what? To transcend, to be free from, to go beyond, to be other than that. Otherwise it was told Vyatiriktaha. Atitaha earlier was told Vyatiriktaha, or we use the word Vilakshana. Vilakshana. Vilakshana, distinct, different, separate, other than. Now on what basis? Now the method is told here by a udaharana from our life, which I have told in the beginning itself when we discussed. Here the particular method is either particularly the knower is distinct from the known, or the owner is distinct from the owned, or the owner is not the owned, the owned is not the owner. However particularly close it may be, valuable it may be, let it be anything, but they remaining because they being something owned by you, and you relate and say it is mine, I know it. As long as you refer like that, you are different, that is different, and what you own and their condition is not your condition. If this much we understand, same is the status with all these things. This is the simple thing by which now understanding what you should do. If you understand this, you have transcended. What you have transcended? The body. How? Generally transcending is to cross over, to go beyond. Is it a physical walking and going beyond? Have you gone out of the body? Have you gone out of the mind? You are not. Remaining where you are, still you have gone away from them. How? By not identifying with that. That's all. That is what is called in our Shastra freedom moksha. That is, moksha is what? To understand the reality, I am free. Not I have to become free. Even when I say I have got disease, in reality do you have disease? Even when you say I have pain, do you have pain? You don't have pain. Because the pain is where? That's another place Shankaracharya says, the pain is not for you. How do you say? Because the argument is, when I so much feel the pain is so much evident to me, and you say there is no pain, how come? That's why he says, when a doctor asks you particularly, you say I have pain. First of all, doctor, I have pain. Then the doctor says, where do you have pain? Because when the person comes and says I have pain, you means where? Which you? That's why we have to say pot dukto. Means the pain is where, on you or the pot? Are you the pot? That means you locate the pain, localize the pain. That means previously it is I have pain. Now the pain is shifted where? To the stomach, or sometimes head, sometimes hand, sometimes leg. So which are you now? Are you the leg? Are you the stomach? Are you the head? What are you? Because again we saw, you refer to that as whose stomach? It is my stomach. And if somebody asks you, how do you know there is pain? Because I know there is pain. So what all things you say? It is my stomach. It is I know. That means if all the things are there, like even what, this is my car has got a defect. Though it is your car and the car has got a defect, you might have been sitting in the car also, but the problem of the defect of the car doesn't belong to you. Why? Because it is your car and you know the defect of the car. That's why our Shastra says this is also a car. And it has got lot of problem. It can have problem because it is also running all the time. So it can have engine trouble, it can have that trouble, this trouble, 1,000 troubles it can have. So and that's it. There you put in a garage. If the garage is, hospital is the garage for this. Sometimes you put it in the garage. And there at least you leave the car and go away. You cannot leave and go. You are there with it all the time, seeing what is happening to it. This is all what it is. But as long as we don't know this, we are so much concerned. Kya hoga, kya hoga, kya hoga. That is the freedom. The moment you distinguish this and you see, in spite of the problem, you can be free. The mind is totally different. That is the moksha. This is the moksham. Understanding is the moksham. That's why I always say, when others have problem, and if you are not related to that, how you are free in spite of problem? Is it or not? That is, you are all doctors. I told you that day. So many patients come from different particular stages of their own problems. Even serious problem, you are not affected. Why? Because you don't identify. But if it is somebody in your family, then you may have a problem. Because you identify and you have particularly anxiety and worry. So what creates the worry? Identification only creates the worry. And that is why when the problem is in the body and you identify and say, my problem, worry starts, anxiety starts, everything starts. So Vedanta tells you how to become free from worry and anxiety. We are trying our level best. Generally will appear, don't worry, people will say. It is easily told everybody, don't worry. Even you will say to a patient, don't worry. But then patient will say, how not to worry, because I don't know what will happen to me. Understand it, sir? So this advising everybody not to worry, easily said, but really very difficult to practice in life. That's why Vedanta says, the real method of becoming free is to understand there is no problem for me. But the basic thing is because I am not the body. This is Vedanta. This is the method of Vedanta giving you freedom. And if you understand and give up your old opinions about yourself that I am body, I am mind, I am intellect, I am sense organs, I am doer, I am sufferer, that giving up in the particular birth of understanding is what is called Tyagam or Sannyasam. This Tyagam Sannyasam is not just changing dress or anything like that. Even without that you can be a sannyasi and tyagi. Because what is to be given up physically, nothing to be given up. पैसा नहीं छोड़ने का, घर नहीं छोड़ने का, कुछ नहीं छोड़ने का. Really what is to be given up? These false opinions and notions, just drop them. And that is called freedom. It is, when you listen it is easy, but you find it very difficult to bring it in your mind. Why? That is another way called particularly Savai Zala. कौन सा सवय पूर्वीच? The old savai doesn't go. That identification doesn't go. And because all the time in the vyavahara, what you have to do? You have to express through this. And you have to use the language also. I am coming, I am going, I am doing this. That I is always equated to the body. Hence the old habit being so strong, suddenly listening this doesn't seem to create any impact. Absolutely. That is why people say these are all intellectual gimmicks. People generally say all these things. ये क्या है ऐसा बोलता है intellectually we understand, but really it doesn't happen anything. It will happen really only when you are ever conscious of this fact. That's it is not a knowledge, just information collected and kept. That's why along with the information, you have to see yourself exactly as the person free from these conditions. When more it happens in your buddhi, that awakening will be. That person is called Sthita Prajna in Gita. Prajna means the awakening, awareness. Sthitam means firm, ever ready all the time. How? Like even you are firm, clear all the time without thinking, I am body, I am this, I am that. I have to think how particularly spontaneous it is. Without a second thinking, you can say who you are. Like that, it should be spontaneous. I am free Atma. For that purpose only, later in the Shastras and all, there is the thing called meditation. That is called Chintan Manan. That is very much essential. As it is not merely listening. In keeping with the listening, there should be lot of reflection should go. And there should be lot of contemplation, which we call, otherwise called meditation, Chintan, which is very much essential. More you do, you will find this fact becomes something real to you. Until such time you don't do that, you may listen, because you are listening 2 days in a month. But all over 28 days, and that is 2 days also what 1.5 hours. The 28 days and the rest of the 22.5 hours, what is our thinking about ourselves? Totally opposite. So which will have more impact? The other one only. So if this has to get impact, I don't know how much time you should devote for this. Then only the impact will be there. Otherwise it is not going to do that. That means though it is your reality, it totally appears to be totally different. Why? Because the old adat say lacha roop. The adat doesn't go. Habits die hard, or you get die hard habit. Understand it, sir? The thinking. So here, where is the habit? There are different habits. Eating habit. There is doing habit, speaking habit, like that varieties habit. Here the habit is the thinking habit. The thinking habit has to undergo change. About whom? about oneself constantly. So this is Vedantic meditation. So what is Vedantic meditation? In Vedantic meditation, you are not to bring God, you are not to have mantra, you are not to do anything. Constantly see yourself as other than the body, free from problems from body. And the more you can do, you will find there is a lot of difference in your mental condition. Stress will go, strain will go, tension will go, varieties of things will go. Provided one is really wanting that. Understand it. And not only that, if you really understand, now this is the reality of you. Now other person, whomever you are worried about, maybe your wife or husband, or your children, or your relations, what is their reality for you? Come on. Are they different? What are they also in reality? Are they the body? They are also not the body. So if there is a problem in their body, if the problem belongs to them, so should you worry about them? Even with reference to them, you need not have worry. Because sometimes your worry is about yourself, sometimes your worry is about others for the sake of others. This knowledge is such that if you clearly understand, you need not worry about yourself or for anybody else for that matter. Because everyone is ever free from all problems. Only thing is, you may know, the others may not know. That means, who can become free from problems? We are talking about you, not others. Because you know you can be free from problems either with reference to you or about others. That's what we are talking. If others have to become free, they also should expose themselves to this teaching. Understand? Like even when a disease is there, one person is cured from the disease. Why? Because that person took the treatment. If another person wants the cure, what other person should do? That person also should take the treatment. Without taking the treatment, because that person got cure, why I didn't get cure? Because you didn't take the treatment. Is it or not? Same is the case here also. That's all. So here the treatment is not something physical, the treatment is to understand certain facts, certain realities. That's all, nothing else. And it can be done by anybody, young or old. And that is why here it is universal. It need not be male only, it can be female. It need not be young, it can be old, it can be not old but young also. And it need not be Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Sudra or anything. Anybody for that matter, provided they have got an intellect to understand. That's all what is required. Thus, that is why this is universal for anyone, provided people really understand and come. But people generally are skeptic. And they don't want to say, they will not say, hey, इसमें क्या मिलने वाला है, क्या होने वाला है. Like that the attitude is there. As long as that attitude is there, it is not going to help. As a matter of fact, nothing helps. Then what to talk of this? Anywhere, even when they come to a doctor, इसमें क्या होने वाला है, I mean they will not get anything. Because their attitude even for the treatment may not be serious. And that is the reason why they don't get a cure also. Because they may not do what you say. When the doctor prescribes something and tells, the patient may not follow that because the patient seems to think, इसमें क्या होने वाला है? If that attitude is there, they may just ignore all your instructions or prescriptions, everything. And that itself becomes the cause for not being cured. Like that only here also. So in order to get this freedom, it is not merely one attends or listens to, but totally follows what is told. And if you live that, you can surely get the freedom. What is living here? No action. constantly being awake to the fact of being free. That's all. Because you have no particular problem to become free. You are free. That's a beauty. You are not to become free. If at all there is a becoming, the becoming has to come only in the nature of your change in thinking. That's all the becoming you have to. There is nothing else required. And that is what is being told here. Now what he says now? He says now, we will take particularly yatha, just as. What he says now? Madhiyatvena jnatam. Things which are known are taken as. Madhiyatvena, as one's own. As what? Kataka. Because he gives the example of ladies only. Kataka means bangles. Kundala, earrings. So maybe gents also once upon a time used to wear. Because in olden days in the cinemas, particular mythological, you find gents also wearing certain types of bangles. The kings and all you see, they got varieties of things wearing. So maybe gents also used to wear that bangles and they put on earrings, everything. So kundala, a type of a particular earring. So kundala. Then griha means your own house. Adikam, adi means etc. You can put car. Then you can say wife or husband, children, money. Varieties of things are there which always understand as mine, mine, mine. Maza, maza, whatever you say. All of them particularly, every one of them he says now. What are they? Swasmat binnam, which is something totally distinct from you, other than you. And whatever is that particular in this manner, he says now, it doesn't become you. Whatever is known as something other than you is not you particularly, he says now. All are other than the knower or the owner. Both you can put it particularly. It is similarly tatha eva. What are they particularly? Pancha Kosaatitaham. The entire particular plane of the 5 koshas. What are they? Madhiyatvena jnatam, which is known as mine, mine, mine. And it is again what? Swasmad binnam, other than you. What are they? Madhiyam shariram. This body belongs to me, my body. Madhiyaha pranaha. This is my prana, or these are my functions, my bodily functions, we can say particularly. Madhiyam manaha. It is my mind. Then Madhiya buddhihi. It is my buddhi or my knowledge. Buddhi can be taken in 2 ways. Simple the faculty of knowledge, that is called buddhi, intellect, or all knowledge is also called buddhi. That also, all particularly Madhiyam. And Madhiyam jnanam. All knowledges belong to me. Why sveneva jnayate? It is known by yourself. Your knowledge you know. What I know, I know. What I don't know, I know. Everything I know. So hence all of them in this manner is a jnatam, madhiyatva jnatam, all of them atmana bhavati. Atma means it cannot be oneself. It doesn't become the Atma, it cannot be the Atman means the self you. Which self? The real self. That means whatever you have been telling before as self, what is that? That is what it is called relative self. It has got a self, it is belonging to you. You express to that. So what is your status? That's why it is a relative. That's why we gave, you get a role play. When you express through the eyes, there is a role. When you express through the ears, there is a role. When you talk, there is a role. Walker, there is a role. Runner, there is a role. Eater, it is a role. It is all a role. You express through a given particular area. Like a costume they become. But though you put on costume, your reality doesn't undergo any change. We saw before, like all the natas, they keep on putting on different costumes and different roles. How many actors are there in the particular world? How many roles they have played? Or actresses, how many roles they have played? How many costumes? Sometimes beggar woman, sometimes a very rich woman. What all things they take? But what are they? Does any of those things belong to them? Nothing. Though without them, that is not there. Similarly, let the body be there, let the mind be there. You may express through any one of them. Their conditions may be there. You may be expressing through that. But because you are wearing a torn cloth, that lady in the particular, that cinema, she doesn't become a poor lady because the torn cloth she wore. After some time, she wears the richest cloth. So what happened to the torn cloth and the regular poor woman? That poorness was only a relative thing for me. What is the reality compared to that? I am the richest one. Or in the particular movie, I may be sickly, almost in a deathbed, severe. But did you really die? You don't. You are free from all those diseases, in spite of appearing as though you had the disease. So that is why this entire thing is a play of roles. Play it very nicely, with all the awareness that I am free from all these conditions. Nothing needs stop. Let everything go on as before. Only change is in that awakening that in spite of the conditions, how I am free all the time. If that comes, that is what is called Pancha Kosha Atitaha. That means even now you are Pancha Kosha Atitaha. What is there is earlier you own up. At present you are not owning up. The owning up is called Swikarne. You have to Swikarla. What is the Swikarla? That I am free from all problems. The moment the Swikar comes, you are free. Even though at present also you are free. But why you are not free? Because you are not owned up. For that owning up only with this knowledge, constant discrimination, that vivechanam should take place. And you do for some time, later on it becomes natural, spontaneous. You are not to think. All the time your awakefulness is I am free. Let it be any condition, even in a miserable condition, you will never say I am suffering. No. Because I am free. That's a fact. Nothing can touch you. Absolutely. That's the beauty of this particular truth of the Atma. And this understanding is what is called Pancha Kosha Atitaha. The one who particularly understands that, the person is free. And as long as you don't understand, in spite of being free, you feel as though you are suffering. That is called bondage. This feeling suffering, feeling limited, feeling dependent, these are all this only because I am feeling I have got dependence so much. Dependence means helpless. That's why helpless. But if you understand the truth, I am ever free. In spite of appearing to have a lot of problems, no problem for me. That should be the understanding clear. And I tell you, if that is there, even the severest situation will not affect you and it will not get aggravated also. Because the situation gets aggravated by your own psychological things also. A small situation gets aggravated because of some psychological things. That's why somebody comes and says, "Isme kya bada baat hai? Kyun itna bada karte hai isko?" But for you it is bada. Why? Your psychological problem. In reality it is not anything. So that is why we are making it big, because we confuse ourselves and think like that. So with this knowledge, whatever generally people call grave, it need not be anything grave. It is just a problem. We don't say there is no problem, it's a problem. The problem doesn't belong to me. That's a great thing. And that's a great relief, I tell you. It's a great relief. Provided one can understand that. This is where, here what is required is understanding. And based on understanding, living that all the time. That I am free. Nothing else. You need not use any word, I tell you. You need not have Sanskrit word. You need not have anything. Whichever language you can understand, always you say, I am free. And if at all in your buddhi question comes, how? Then you have to use little language. Why? That is the thing given. Because I am the owner of everything. They are all owned. So their condition doesn't belong to me. I am free from that. Simple logic. It's a simple logic. If this much you can work on that, you can free yourself. You need not know entire Tattva Bodha. You need not remember anything. This much is sufficient because it's the basic logic. The basic logic is this much only. Thus, if you can work on it and you try, you will find there is a lot of difference in your mental condition. The mind can never get ruffled. It will always be calm and peaceful, steady all the time. At least with reference to you, you will have no worry. That worry will not be there. That doesn't mean you need not attend to the body. Understand it, sir. That's why I always say you attend to the, like a car you attend to this also. Khana hai kya? Cow. Kaun khata hai? Previously I used to eat. Now who is eating? The body has to eat. Like petrol is to be given to the car, give it. इसको भी थोड़ा तेल पानी देना पड़ता है, दे दो. That's all, nothing else. That's all. Then only the fastidious things will go. I want the food like this. I want that like this. I want this like this. Why? No, I am the eater. I am the enjoyer. So naturally things should be this way. मेरे लिए. Later on, मेरे लिए नहीं. That's why you don't say, कौन सा पेट्रोल ये गाड़ी के लिए चाहिए? Any petrol pump, you put the petrol. Like that, इधर also कौन सा भी खाना चलता है, चलो. Because after all, you know what is the food for. Food is only to give some nourishment to the body. This is only intermediary thing. That is why when you give too much importance for this, it starts creating lot of problem here. Is it or not? Food after all is meant for nourishment. That's why what is nice here doesn't become good here. Some people like lot of thicked. When it is here thicked, very good, nice. After some time it starts creating lot of problem here. Understand it, sir? Like the many things good here doesn't become good here. Or not for the total body itself. That's why as long as we don't understand, we give so much importance to this. That's called Jikhva Lolupa. And that only, you know, as doctors, create lot of problem later. That's why our Shastra says, initially bhogi. People are all bhogis. Later on rogis. Oh. A bhogi, first of all, not railway, our bhogi. And they become a rogi. Then they land in the hospital after some time. This is all the thing. But then why everybody is a bhogi? That's why all eating joints are full. Itna hotels, anywhere you go. So many people. And what I will say, after all, food is a necessity. We do admit, food is a necessity. But not we should have delicacies food only. That is called fastidious about things. That's why you want to shift from one hotel to another. Daily change here, there, so many things. Varieties we want. All because our outlook towards food is totally different. Because not that I am eating food, I am enjoying food. See that particular thing. I am enjoying. That means eating is not for nourishment. Eating is for what? For pleasure and enjoyment. The total outlook is different. Total outlook is different. That's why when you say take bland food, what they say? Kitna din khayega? Huh? Because when is food nice, spices, so many things, put nice, everything, then only something. This bland food who can take? But then sometimes bland food is good for the body, but not for the tongue. Then you say, क्या जिंदगी क्या है, ऐसा खाना खा के कितना दिन रहने का है? Some people ask a question. अगर रहना है तो इतना सब अच्छा खाना खा के रहना है, ऐसा खाना खा के किसको चाहिए? But then when they come to the dietitian, what they will say? That's a totally different thing. खाना है, but don't eat so much. So there is restriction, this, that you should not do, this you should not do. Then if you say, ऐसा क्यों जीना है? अरे ऐसा खाते रहेगा, मर जाएगा. That is why. So as long as you think you are eating only, then you will not thinking of dying. Understand itself. When I want to eat only, I don't think after thinking eating I will die. That's why people are indulging, no? When they are drinking or when they are taking anything, they don't think this will create a death for me. Because my aim is to enjoy. Death cone, after some time only, oh, mar jayega, then only the fellow thinks. Too late in life after some time. This is how people always don't think. When that becomes important, other part is over. That is the problem of these indulgences. This is the problem. Our Shastra only tells this. Your total capacity of thinking, the balance goes away. Because you give more importance to something else. Then really what is important totally goes away. So what is the particular standard life is understanding everything their place. We don't say food is not necessary. Food has got a place. It is only for nourishment. So even according to Ayurveda and Shadrasa is required, okay, little be there, little. That's a little of salt, little of this, little of that, everything. But not only sweets. Sometimes only sweets becomes a problem. Or only thickened also becomes a problem. That's why they say everything combined little. That's all. That's a quantum also. Not up to the tonsils you eat. You have to eat to the particular limited quantity. So varieties of things are there. All of them only gives you good health. Anything excessive spoils your health. But then why anything becomes excessive is because of this attitude of I am enjoying. Understand itself. Because basically people think our life is to enjoy. दूसरा क्या काम है दुनिया में? इतना मेहनत करके क्या करना है? मजा करना है. And the maja is from different angle. One of the main occupation of maja is eating. That's why any function, if you say light refreshments, then people are there. And you say function, no light refreshment, nobody will be there. Understand it, sir? That is any type of meeting here, there, they have to say light refreshment will be served. And if you say dinner or lunch, then all the more good. That's why even in particular Lions Club or particularly all your Rotary Club, what is there? Simply they don't come. Because they are always followed by lunch or dinner. Otherwise, who will come there? Once I was called for this particular Rotary Club, they said. And they were telling me you have to talk half an hour. But in the half an hour also total time, 20 minutes you talk. 10 minutes they will ask for some questions. But Swamiji, they are all very much interested in their dinner only. Then I said, why should I come there? If they are coming for dinner, they are not coming for talk. Why honestly waste my time there? I think my talk is not necessary there. You can have some other talk, I left it. Because such serious talks, what they unnecessarily give? Because their mind is all the time in their lunch or dinner. Why unnecessarily go for that? So I said, I am not coming. I just withdrew from there. So this is what generally people have got their own particular outlook and things, understand it. I am only telling what is the basic outlook of people. That's why when you come here only, it throws a different light to the purpose of life. Life is not what we think. All the things have got a place, we don't deny. But not that what we think, that alone is life. They are only contributory. They are only just a necessity to take you for something else. So what is mukhyam? That's why even with all the things you say, finally, I want to be peaceful and happy. That is your goal. Doing everything shevti kai, as you ask in Marathi. Anything you do, whole day, whole life you do, at the end of it, what you want? Nivanta Shanta Raj. This is your goal. For that you do run about so many things, and after a certain years you say, Na ata nivritta. And nivritta झाल्यावर काय? शांत निवांत राहायचं आनंदाने. For the purpose of this you are running about here and there, भटकताय, सब कुछ करताय. But then you find by the end you do all that, and that alone is not there. Everything else is there. So that is a Vedanta tells you, that is your goal. We are telling you it is possible here. Now come on, take it. Should you stop any one of them? No. Even when you are doing all of them, you are peaceful. At present you think after nivritti only you will get that. We are telling you, even when the activity is there, you can be free, provided you understand. That's the difference here, all must know. We need not change anything, we need not do anything. But what is required is clear understanding. That clear understanding must come. And automatically, if this understanding is there, I tell you, your lifestyle will automatically change. All that, particularly dharma, varma, everything will come automatically. People generally break dharma only because if they are with dharma, they cannot enjoy, they say. They cannot have pleasures with dharma. Dharma seems to be a restriction. So, dharma chodo, free, I can do anything I want. Why? By doing that, I will be happy. That's okay. Because when I can do anything I want, I am happy. When people say, mat karo, o mat karo, unhappy. So why do you want to go outside dharma? To be happy. But the more you go outside dharma, that itself becomes problem. Understand itself. So that is what is dharma now, you all know. Because medical dharma tells you, what is the dharma? Don't destroy the dharma of the body. That's why proper food, proper thing, everything maintains the dharma of the body so that the body will be healthy. But when you go outside the dharma and live anyway, freelancing, whichever way you want, particularly, then you find the body's dharma gets affected. And that is what is called disease. So that is physical disease. Then similarly, when you flout dharma, then you start guilty mind problem. Then mental problem starts. So while doing anything outside dharma, at that time okay. Later on, slowly mind start working. Then starts problem. So that is why we are going out of dharma, we are doing many things because in our opinion, doing all of them, I will become happy. All activities people are doing, I tell you, even criminals are doing, thinking that by doing criminal activities, we will become more happy. We will become better. Their opinion is like that. That's why as long as they think like that, you cannot correct. That's why like all addictions, the addicts think what? By being addicted, they think we will become more happy. That's why they are taking to addictions. And to make them understand, I say by this you will not become happy. It takes a lot of time. Because they have already concluded that that is the thing that makes me happy. And they are all big addictions, we have got small addictions. That's only different. Everybody has got their own addictions, understand itself. Nobody is free. They are all very harmful addictions. These are all lesser evils as you call it. But equally they are the cause for a lot of problems in life, which we should understand. So thus, if our whole outlook changes about ourselves, even our life purpose, everything will be changing completely. Hence, our expression in the world, our attitude towards things, everything naturally undergo a change. Without effort, I tell you. That is why this knowledge is very important. If it is understood, it has got a great thing in life. But as long as people don't understand, it will mean nothing at all, absolutely nothing. So that is what we should know. Okay. Now it was told, Atma is Pancha Kosaatitaha. So now if it is not the body, the mind, nothing it is, now final question is, then what is this Atma? Because there what was told particularly, Pancha Kosaatitaha avastatraya sakhistan yat tishtati sa Atma. So that Atma is being asked, what is that Atma? So we will read there. Atma Tharhi Kaha Satchidananda Swarupaha Satkim Kalatrayepi Tishthatiti Sat Chitkim Jnana Swarupaha Anandakaha Sukhaswarupaha. Up to now we have been talking about Atma, telling what Atma is not. The reason is that you can always say things in a positive manner, telling this is the object you want to know. This. Atma is this. We can say only when Atma is an object. Very important. Major portion of the teaching in Vedanta is not in the positive manner, it is always in the negative manner, in the process of negation. What you are not will be told more than telling what you are. And you will find this is the process generally done all over the world. That's why even when you want to diagnose a patient, what you do by various types of tests, please. What the purpose of your particular various type of test is the process of elimination. Is it or not? By doing so many tests, you eliminate this possibility, then you can pinpoint this is the problem. That is anywhere we do. If you go to a company, when they call lot of applications for a job, they particularly filter. That is called elimination. They eliminate from the bulk, then finally they have got a few applications. There again, second elimination process goes, finally they have the final few, whom they call for interview, and then eliminate. So all the time what is happening in the world, anywhere you go, elimination. Even in refining, anything you refine, what you do? Byproducts you eliminate. Anywhere byproducts are taken away. And finally you go for the main product. This is all over the world we are doing that only. But then to know what is not the product, you must have the knowledge. That is why when you refine it, you say this is not the main product, but it is a product, keep it aside. Another product, that is keep aside. Finally you say this is the main product. Till you come to that, you keep on refining, keep on doing. That is the process here also. That is what this also done here. We don't use all the scientific method, but we can see the same thing here. There it is, physically you have to do so many things with the knowledge, but here simple by the discrimination, we just negate and eliminate things. So having done now, up to now we told you, you are not the body gross, you are not the body particularly subtle, you are not the body particularly the karanam causal, or you are not the pancha koshas, or the avastha trayam, 3 stages is not for you. So you are free from that. That free me, who is that? That's indirectly, who am I then? If I am not all these things, then who am I really? That's called Atma, Tharhi, Kaha means what is Atma means who am I? Because we should always use the word Atma, Atma. And it also look Atma is some third party. Atma is like that. Then what happens to you for that? That's why though we use the word Atma, Atma means I. What is referred by the word? I. That's called Atma. So that's why the Sanskrit word, Atma is free, Atma is like that, we will keep on repeating. No. Whenever we say Atma, it is just like your name. When your name is called, immediately who is? I am, attention. Like that, after studying Vedanta, whenever the word Atma comes, it should remind whom? Atma means I. So if Atma is not body, Atma is not mind, Atma is none of them, their condition doesn't belong to Atma, means they don't belong to me. So everywhere Atma should be equated as myself, I. So when you say what is Atma means, indirectly we have to say who am I, not what am I. Who am I? If I am not the body, mind or anything, then really who am I? What is my reality? That's why unless we have negated, straight away we tell you, you are Atma, you may mistake the body to be Atma, anything to be Atma. That's why after telling what Atma is not, finally we have to say positively, what is Atma? Means what is its Swarupa? Here we are going to talk three things. The three is not a quality of Atma. This is what in our Shastra we call it as Swarupam. Swarupam means reality. Like even what? Fire, when you say, the fire has got basically you can say two properties or three properties. And you cannot say fire can be without that. Main property of fire, whenever you say, it is always Ushnata, heat. Fire immediately means what? Heat. Tapana Shakti. That alone is fire. But then along with the Tapana Shakti, you will find always the glow or the brightness that is there in it. And that glow itself has got a color also. That glowing color. That's why when you kindle the fire, it has got that different color, that glowing color, golden color. But in the sun, what is the color? That's why when the heat becomes higher and higher, the glow is no more red, it becomes white. When the heat is in higher level, you find the reddish color goes away, it becomes white. That's why sun. That's why you see when sun is rising, you look at the sun, it is crimson red. And when it is particularly setting also, it is crimson red. But as long as it goes up and up, it becomes brighter and brighter. The reddish color as though totally goes away, it is just bright, so bright. Why? As it goes up, its heat temperature keeps on becoming higher and higher. That means what fire we get is only a very limited particular heat in that. That's why if you find in the particular furnaces and all where they melt this particular metals and all, the heat has to become higher and higher. Even many of the oils and all melt only particularly at a higher temperature, boiling and so many things. You all know better than me. So that condition being there, this Atma Swarupam also like fire. Now what do you find? Heat, brightness and the glow. Three things are there. But all the three is not a quality of fire. All the three is nothing but fire. Means what? Whenever you say fire, all the three are there. Is it or not? Can you separate it from fire? Can you say hot fire separate? Glowing fire separate? White fire separate? We cannot have. Wherever fire is, all the three are together. Similarly, Atma, whenever we say, whatever you are going to see, three is together. They are not three qualities. They are itself. So, that Atma is you. So, why the three is being told, that also we will see. Now, first of all, it is told Atma is what? Sat, Chit, Ananda, Swarupa. Swarupa means its reality. As I told you before, Rupam, Swarupam. Rupam is called shape. Akara is called Rupa. When we use the word Swa along with Rupa, it becomes truth, reality, Paramartha. Swarupam means Paramartham. That is called Swarupa. So, Satchidanandam is the Paramartha Swarupam of Atma. So, when this is positively told again, because we say Satchidananda Swarupam, you cannot say this is Satchidananda Swarupam. Then what is Satchidananda Swarupam? This is where you must know. When you say, not say this is Satchidananda Swarupam, this is what? Indicating an existence of a thing. This is, when you say, that pronoun indicates an existence using the word is. That's what you do. And you refer to an object. Now, whenever you have to say Satchidananda Swarupam is the reality of yourself, how you will have to say? English simple construction. What we have to say? I am Satchidananda Swarupam. Not that I know Satchidananda Swarupam, I see Satchidananda Swarupam, I hear Satchidananda Swarupam, I taste Satchidananda Swarupam, I feel Satchidananda Swarupam. No, because whenever you use any of this expression, that becomes an object, you become the subject. So if you say I see Atma, then Atma becomes what? Subject. Object, and you become what? Subject. So Atma is an object, you are not that Atma. Anything you see or know or refer as mine or I know, it becomes other than you. We already see. That means if you are Atma, can you be a relation like that? Knower, known, taster, seer, seen? It is not. Then relationless is what? How do you relate yourself to yourself? Come on. Can you relate yourself to you? There is no particular relationship between you and yourself. That relationless state is called I am. I am. That means your Swarupam is what? That I am itself is being told here as Sat, Chit, Anandam. That is your Swarupam, not your Rupam. It is your Swarupam. In reality, you are that only. You are not anything other than that. Okay, इसमें क्या बड़ा बात है? In telling I am Satchidananda Swarupam, क्या मिल जाएगा? क्या बड़ा होता है? So that is what is going to be understood before, particularly. So first we will see and then we will connect it. Now question is asked, Sat Kim? What do you mean by Sat or what is Sat? When you say what is Sat means, what do you mean by Sat? This Sat is what is called Kalatraye api tishtati iti Sat. These are all the things we have seen before. That which will remain in all three periods of time. How? Without undergoing any change or modifying. Indirectly, now if you have to connect it, in the world everything has got time bound. Anything is time bound. Because why? Everything is created. That's why you find in all medicines you are supposed to give, everybody is to give two things. Manufacturing date, expiry date. That is called time bound. Within this time, it has to be, otherwise it is no more useful. That's why anything which is time bound, our Shastra calls it asat. And anything that is time bound, that's why we call it as perishable. And that is why if you are time bound, what will happen to you? You are also perishable. That's in the perishable, there are two types of perishable. One is called gradual perishable, another one is final perishable. The gradual perishable is called aging. That's why I told you before itself. A child also has to age. There it is a necessity. That age of the aging of the child you call as growth. Up to an age you call it growth. After some time you don't want it. Because why? That growth is called another way. That is called old age. Oh. Is it or not? They say after 40 we don't want growth. Because after 40 slowly the other side start declension. Previously graph was going up, then slowly start coming down, which you don't want. That's why everybody wants to put up, particularly I am young. Because we cannot accept old age. When you attribute the old age to yourself, naturally you cannot accept. And after becoming old only, one day there is the thing called death. That also we don't want. Is it or not? Nobody wants. If possible, we would like to live. If at all that Yamadharmaraja is available, and if at all, that's why he keeps far away, never even speaks to anybody. Because if he speaks, he will have a lot of problem. Asking somebody, particularly, kitna din rehna hai, they will keep on postponing. Pahla bolega 2 दिन और दो. And if at all, 2 दिन में काम नहीं हो गया, और 1 हफ्ता दो. They will keep on postponing. Because who wants to go? Even a person lying in the bed, I tell you, sometimes out of particular dejection says, I wish I die. Now if you say, no, you don't worry, you will be cured very well. In 2-3 days you will be alright. Then it's all okay, it's alright. Then there is nothing wrong in living. So who would like to die? Nobody wants to die. Though out of frustration, dejection, somebody says, I wish I die. What is the use of living? Sometimes we say, that is only because situation is bad. Even a person who is committing suicide, I tell you, wants to commit suicide. You tell him, why you are committing suicide? What is the use of living? Life is, don't worry, I will make everything alright. No, my loans are so much, debts are so much, everything I will pay. Then I don't mind living. The fellow come back. Because nobody in heart of heart wants to die, I tell you. Nobody wants to die. But everybody would like to push the date one day more. Why? Because your reality is you are beyond time. We cannot accept what is not our reality. That's a simple logic you will know. The body doesn't accept any foreign matter inside this body. What does the body do when the foreign matter comes? That is the method of its own fighting there. Abscess comes, fever comes, so many things comes. That is what you call virus inside. And the virus goes out, everything becomes normal. And what is our anxiety, mind being anxious? Virus. What virus? This thought, I will die virus. That is the worry. That's why when sickness comes, worry. Kya hoga, worry. Understand it, sir? That's why this virus, how to remove? By understanding I will not die. So the virus cannot enter there. I have no death, I have no age, so I don't become old, nor I am young. But then who are you? That is what is called I am Sat, I am Nityam. Sat means Satyam. The Satyam means it is timeless. That is called existence. What existence? All other existence or relative existence. This is the existence absolute. Thus by telling by Sat, it tells you are free from time-wise limitation. Time-wise limitation means you are immortal. So by Sat, what do we say? You are immortal. You are not to become immortal. Generally everybody wants to be immortal. But ordinary people, what they do? That's why they want to put their name everywhere. Is it or not? Anything I donate, write my name. Why? Even though I go, my name will be there. This is the people. And another method is in our life in olden days. That is why they name the children after those people. That is why you are gone, but your name continues through the children. Grandchild has got the grandfather's name, so that grandfather continues through the grandchild. So every grandfather gets a continuity through the grandchildren. This is the method of keeping our name continuing. Or otherwise, ordinary people want to give everything and write their name, carve their name. And that remains there. Kitna baras ka baat mein bhi somebody will read. The name is still there. These are all the human particular nature of wanting to survive. Why? I know I am particularly mortal, I am time bound, but I don't want to accept that, so I try to keep it in some way or the other. So basic desire, everybody has got desires, but no two person has got the same desire in the world. But there is universally three desires in that. One desire is that I want to live all time forever. I don't want to die. Why? Because my reality is I have no death. The thinking of death itself is a foreign matter, like it is not my reality, I cannot accept. And that is why I am struggling to become immortal or living longevity. That's why all exercises, tablets and vitamins and thousand things. How to extend and extend and extend and extend. Everything is going on. But however much you try, I am unable to keep this just goes away. So if at all you don't want to die, understand you have no death. And how do you say? Because you are Sat. Understand? Now the existence itself, if you say now, can you particularly see existence? This is another thing. Is an existence tangible object? Existence is not a tangible object. Then what is this existence? It could be an inert thing. Existence is simple existence, is not something. So am I an inert thing, existence? That's why we have to go further. Who says something exists? Now, for example, now the table is there. The chair is there. The room is there. Does the room say you are? First of all, let us say. That's why I told you before. When you go out somewhere for 2-3 days and when you come home, nobody is at home. Open the door. Does your sofa set welcome you? Aajao. It doesn't say. Only you confirm whether things are there or not. That means any existence for that matter, for that what is an important thing required, we must clearly understand that is what is called awareness, consciousness. An existence is in consciousness. An existence is not in an inert thing. An existence is given by the conscious thing to the inert thing. That's why world doesn't say you are, but you say world is. You say sun is, moon is, stars are, everything is, you say. You means any conscious being, including a mosquito says you are there. That's why it comes and bites you. Because it is a conscious thing. For mosquito, you are there. You mean this body is there. That's why though you are sleeping, mosquito says, I am having nice treat now. Like that, every creature gives existence to its respective area of field. By in all of them there is the thing called consciousness, awareness, that is called chetanata. That chetanata itself is called here as chit. That means existence itself. What type of existence is Atma? It is not an inert existence. It is a sentient existence. That's why, how do you exist? Sentient or insentient? All the time sentient. That's why you are sentient. When death takes place, what happens to the body? Body proves what I am in reality. That is just like charcoal. When charcoal is in the gunny bag, how it is? It is black and inert. But when it comes in contact with fire, the charcoal seems to show, oh, I am glowing. I am very chetanam. But your chetanata, what happens to you? That is, in the process, when it is contact with this particular fire, what happens to the charcoal? After some time it gets consumed. So who really gets exhausted, consumed? Fire or the charcoal? We generally say fire died. This is the problem. Aag bujh gaya. This is what we always say. But in reality, kaun bujh gaya udhar? The fuel only gets exhausted. Fire never gets exhausted. Similarly, who gets particularly exhausted here also? It is the body who dies, not Atma dies. But the death of the body, the perishing of the body, everything we attribute to the Atma. Not knowing. But in the presence of Atma only, the consumption is going on. That is a growth is a consumption. Aging is a consumption. Everything is a consumption. For that, what is required? That is what particularly, the real thing that is required is the Chaitanya. In the dead body also, there is a change, decomposition takes place. That is also because there is a natural thing for it to decompose. But here it is not decomposition. It is a type of a growth. And for that growth, what is necessary? The presence of the Chaitanyam is necessary. Chaitanyam allows everything to happen. All modifications, any cells to change, grow, varieties of things to take place, the consciousness is present. While consciousness allows everything to change, itself doesn't undergo any change. Like there, the charcoal keeps on, gets burned, fire remains same as fire. It doesn't undergo any change. That's why we need not produce fire. We have to always produce fuel only. Fuel crunch is there, not fire crunch. Because fire is always available. No problem. Even 2 stones you strike, fire comes. Even in wood there is fire. 2 woods, they rub together, fire comes. There is no problem. So like that, Atma is always there. But then like fire to manifest, Atma needs a medium to manifest, to show itself, and that medium is what we called the Sukshma Shariram. Hence, what is the next thing Atma is? Chaitanyam. It is Chetanam. That is sentiency. That is called Chit. So Chit means what? Awareness, consciousness. Otherwise you call it Chetanata. Opposite to Chetanam, what is there? Jadam. That's why here is a combination of Jada Chetana combination. Like charcoal and fire, here also the Chetana Atma, Jada, all this body, everything. Even mind is Jadam, Buddhi is Jadam. But they are all glowing because of the presence of Atma. But when you identify with the body, then you become Jadam. But in reality, who are you? Chetanam. And this particular chit itself, another way we call it as principle of knowledge. That's why it's called jnanam also. Chit is otherwise called as jnanam. Jnanam is not two type of jnanam. Qualified jnanam, but this is unqualified jnanam. The principle of knowledge, because of which all other knowledge is possible. So any other knowledge that comes is only a modification at the level of the buddhi, which you qualify this chaitanyam and say that knowledge. In reality, without this chaitanyam, no knowledge can be there. And because you are all knowledge, the principle of knowledge only, you cannot accept ignorance. That's a second desire in a real human being majority is that I cannot live ignorant in the world. I want to live all the time, and all the time I would like to know. I need not go to school, but at least I have a desire to know. From childhood itself, the child starts expressing this. When children start talking, the mother has got lot of problem. Why? It start asking question, mummy, what is this? Mummy, what is that? Mummy, what is this? The child you take outside, it will not keep quiet. It keeps on asking questions after questions. So that clearly shows the inquisitiveness on the child's part from the beginning itself to know, desire to know. And it continues throughout our life. That's why we cannot remain ignorant. That's why if you find 2-3 people talking, you are inquisitive to know what they are talking. That is called eavesdropping. Slyly, बाजू से जाएगा क्या बोलता है? You want to know. Or you ask, क्या बोला? And that is the only thing why we are always interested early morning to read newspaper. First thing why everybody wants newspaper, because I should not be ignorant. I must know क्या होता है दुनिया में. That's why we are all very much after media, so many things to know. क्या होता है, this, that, so many things. Everybody wants to get knowledge. I cannot remain ignorant. Why? I am the principle of knowledge. Hence I want to live forever, but all the time live knowledge with knowledge. That's second desire. Everybody has got. Nobody is an exception in the world. Okay, I want to live with knowledge and I want to live with that. Then what is that? But simply living? No. I want to live happily. And that is why he says, Chit kim jnana swarupaha. So Chit means, that means Atma is not only Sat, it is Chit means, it is the Swarupam of Jnanam means awareness, consciousness, principle of unqualified knowledge. That's why knowledge means, if it is knowledge, then why should you go to college? If I am already knowledge, why should I go to college? That's why there are two types of knowledge. The knowledge in the world is a knowledge which is opposed to ignorance. Like the light here is opposed to darkness. This light and darkness cannot coexist. When light comes, darkness will go. When darkness comes, there cannot be light. Similarly, in our light case also, where ignorance is, there is no knowledge. And where knowledge is, there is no ignorance. So what knowledge we call in the world is only an opposite to ignorance. Then what is this Atma? Atma is something which is not opposed to anything. Hence it is the light of knowledge in which everything gets existence. That's why you know everything in knowledge. That's why in the light of Atma you know everything. What? Knowledge as well as ignorance. Again you see, particularly you are the Chaitanya Swarupam another way. You see, now for seeing everything you need this light or sunlight, some source of light with which you see. Now can you tell me, if you want to see darkness, do you put on a light, torch light? How do you see darkness? Because darkness is also something to be seen. Is it or not? It is an object. With what do you see? With what light do you see? That is why you are the light. You see not only this light, because this light itself is an object for you to see. And not only you see this light, you see even darkness. That is the Atma, including like that, you see your knowledge. Whatever knowledge you have, you see, you know. And equally you know what is your ignorance also. What I know, I see. What I don't know also, I see. In which light? That is the principle of knowledge. That's why this is a great thing. And you are Chaitanyam, you go to a dark room, please. These are all we see. I am telling you, these are all the proof how you are the Chaitanyam. You go to a dark room, there is no light. Completely put all curtains everywhere. Don't allow any form of light to come inside. And stand in the room. Initially if you go, you will not see anything. But you will see darkness. But after some time you stand, you will find, you can see the outline of the room. With what light do you see? What is the light there? That is you, which comes through your eyes. These are all the evidence of you being the light. And how that is not the body's nature, because in the dead body it is not there. Even if a dead man's eyes are open, it doesn't see. That's why you put it on a living person, eye transplantation, that fellow gets the light. Just like a bulb, if used, that bulb doesn't play, you put another bulb, it starts glowing. Why? The current is there.